Yeah, so once again, I'm outside of the Chula Vista Police Department where I decided to start my day today. I did see some people getting on here yesterday and commenting that if we find anything out there by May's house, that we should, leave it alone and flag it and stuff like that. Trust me, I understand the procedures. And I am going to be in contact with the detectives to, make sure that, we don't mess anything up, or if we see anything interesting that we'll pass it along to them, and they can determine whether it's something of value or if they want to just throw it in the trash can or whatever. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update once again. Larry and May's house is not too far from here, the search area. I have not been able to get a hold of Mary Chris, who many of you know is May's sister. I would love to get a hold of her. You can have her reach out to me. And I would like to be a part of the searches that they're holding. I don't know if they're holding one this weekend or not. So anyway, it's my prediction that pretty soon we will see Larry entering these gates right here. Here at the Chula Vista Police Department. There's just too many red flags. It's not looking good for him. We've been down this road before, you guys that have followed my channel, and we saw the exact same behavior from Barry Morphew, almost identical. And I think there's an imminent arrest coming soon. It's not looking good for Larry, like I said yesterday. So anyway, hope you guys are great. Stay safe, stay lovely, and stay tuned, because hopefully at the end of the day, when I give you my update at the end of the day, hopefully we have some more information for you. So you guys are amazing. Talk to you soon.
Who, me? What's up, guys? Welcome to my live. Again, I don't know what you guys are up to on a Friday night, but it must be really boring where you're at if you're on here on my live. But I greatly appreciate you guys being here on a Friday night to have a great discussion about two separate cases that are very similar. And I know a lot of you guys... I'm going to switch over to the comments. Make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. It looks like you guys can hear me. Hi, everybody. I have my microphone up there, so I just wanted to make sure that the sound was coming through nice and clear. Getting all high tech in my car here with a nice microphone. So anyway, tonight we're talking about these two guys right here, Larry and Barry. On the left, you see Larry Millete. On the right, we see Barry Morphew. So, the two stooges. Now, these cases are no laughing matter, but I couldn't help it with the names like Larry and Barry. It kind of sounded like the three stooges, Larry, Curly, and Moe. But anyway, I wanted to start off talking about the Millete case. You guys saw I was there in Chula Vista. I did a couple of searches out there in the foothills around the Millete home, and it was pretty fun. It was right in the middle of summer, so it was extremely hot. Up when you were kind of up on top of the mountains, it was nice. You had a nice breeze coming from the ocean, but when you got down into those canyons and those creeks and stuff. It got pretty brutal down there. So I was kind of surprised, coming from Arizona, I'm a desert rat, and I was kind of surprised at how hot I was and how much I needed to take a break out there. But yeah, I know that those areas up there have been picked clean by Mary Chris and her crew. That's of course May's sister and her brother-in-law. They have a prayer group. They have a bunch of people out there in Chula Vista, San Diego area that they get together regularly. They pray together. They do searches. I think they even do like dinners. And if they're not doing dinners, they should, because I remember when I was teaching on the reservation here in Arizona, we had a lot of Filipino teachers at our school, and they would always invite me to their weddings and their get-togethers. And man, we had some amazing food. So if Mary Chris and that family and that group ever gets together, make sure I get an invitation, because I'm missing that fine Filipino food. So anyway, you guys probably all saw the what do you call it? The police not interview, but a press conference, excuse me, where they had a press conference the other day after Larry Millete was arrested. And, it was one of the longest press conferences I've ever seen. It was about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But it was pretty touching, when you saw Mary Chris, some of the family members get up there and cry and talk about how they've waited for this day to come, because they've known since day one that Larry was involved in this somehow. So, justice finally came around, as it always does. It usually takes about, well, not usually, there's no set time, but, the wheels of justice sometimes turns very slowly, and even more slowly for, people that are involved in these, family members and stuff like that. But, I think it was about 9 months, 10 months that they made this happen. Yeah, it happened in January. So good for them. I'm happy for Mary Chris and that family. There's still, no answers in where May is at this time. I don't know if, they take Larry in and put him in front of some seasoned detectives, investigators, and maybe they can, squeeze some information out of him about where she's at and stuff like that. But I know there's a lot of speculation, but as far as I know, there's no solid leads on, where she could be. So for those people that are new to this case, Mary Chris reported her sister Maya missing in January of this year out of the San Diego area. And for you guys that have followed it, you can see that there's a lot of similarities between this and the Suzanne Morphew case. And a lot of people were saying, hey, Tyson, you should go look at this case out in San Diego because it's very similar. Sure enough, I couldn't sit still one day, and I said, you know what? I think the time's come that I need to go to San Diego and make a visit. So got to meet some great people. When I watched the press conference, I'm probably one of the only people that noticed this outside of their group, but I noticed that same group that cheered me on and met me in front of the courthouse that day, they were all holding signs and they had T-shirts made and stuff. They were all there at the press conference doing their cheers and everything. What a tremendous support, May has had and her family, Mary Chris and them, and, having this group of people that's always coming together and offering support free of charge, much of the time at their own expense, and so there's just some great people out there. So just wanted to give a shout out to those fine people that I saw there with their signs and their cheers and stuff. So some of the details about the Millete case. Larry was now this is what I read. I read it before when I was in San Diego, but I kind of brushed up on it again today. And I read that somewhere along the way, Larry Millete stabbed somebody. And that's my understanding. When he was 17 years old, he stabbed somebody. I think it was in Hawaii. Now, I don't know if I read that correctly. I don't know if it was his dad or him, because the way it was written was kind of confusing. But if it was Larry, Jr., I think his dad's name's Larry too. But if it was Larry Jr., then it would show a little bit about, not a little bit, actually quite a bit about his character. And we've heard all along that he has a real short temper, bad temper. He decided to follow in his dad's footsteps. He joined the Navy and did pretty well in there. He had no disciplinary actions or anything like that. Seems like he had some awards and whatnot. And so anyway, he was, I guess he was out of the military, and they moved him to San Diego, where he was kind of doing it part-time. And he got a job as a optician or something like that. I think that's what it was, working at the hospital. And Maya was also working. I think she was also doing something with the military as well. But anyway, they started having marriage problems, and Larry started doing all kinds of weird things. And he just, man, he really, I guess he just flipped his lid and started contacting all of these like witchcraft people and putting hexes on people and curses, and asking, if these people could curse certain people. I kind of like, what I thought of is like the voodoo dolls. You guys remember the voodoo dolls where you'd poke it with a pin and stuff like that? He might have even had some of those. I don't know. This guy was doing some weird stuff. But yeah, he got way out there, and he started sending like text messages to the family. And it wasn't just like, hey, how was your day? Mine was good. Like, I went to work. I went and did a round of golf. It wasn't like a normal conversation. It was like really weird stuff, like scripture that talked about how a woman's feet need to go down to death if she commits adultery. Like some sort of a seance with candles and all kinds of weird stuff. So this guy was really just starting to come unraveled, and family members started to notice it. And they took a trip to Glamis, to the sand dunes, and they took their Jeep. And I guess there was some sort of an argument over the Jeep. I don't know what it was about. I don't care, but it was something about the Jeep. And I guess family members started to notice there was a lot of arguing. They started to get nervous. And I guess she went and told her sister and some other family, hey, if anything happens to me, it's Larry. He's dangerous. So, and as we compare that to what we know about Barry Morphew, Larry, he kind of lost his mind a little more than Larry and Barry. But I don't know if that's accurate, if that's an accurate statement. I think Barry has just been able to contain himself a little better. Larry kind of came loose and just started doing really, really stupid things. Not that Barry didn't, but not really to that extreme. So, well, anyway, Maya was planning a birthday party. They were going to go to like Big Bear Lake or something like that up there in California. And they had this thing all planned. Well, all of a sudden, May disappears and nobody can find her. I think it was like some weird situation where he was like telling the kids she was in the bedroom, and they were doing their homework downstairs, online school and stuff. And their mom, he was supposedly locked in her bedroom, but she wasn't. She was long gone. And Larry was just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And so, it was my privilege to go out there and to search. And I hope that they never give up searching for their sister, for their daughter, for their friend. In the Suzanne Morphew case and this case, it's not very likely that day will ever come, but you just never know. You never know, man. And so we always got to hold out faith and hope and continue to try and persevere, because that's what this life is all about. So I just wanted to give you a little background on that case. So now, kind of get you up to speed with it, over the last week or two maybe, with Larry Millete getting arrested. First, they named him a person of interest, and then they swooped in and nabbed him and threw him in jail, just like I predicted they would. Was that a good prediction, or what? No, this one wasn't hard to predict. Larry had guilt written all over him. That lady that I talked to in Chula Vista, she reminded us all of how wonderful and dedicated the Chula Vista police force is. She talked about how, as a youngster, she served on the Chula Vista Police Department Junior Squad or something like that, and she had a lot of respect for them. So, it sounds like they've really got their stuff together there in Chula Vista. So, Larry he went to court a couple of days ago and tried to get bailed out, and he got denied. So, one of the things that I wanted to show on here, I'm going to see if I can pull this up real quick, was I wanted to talk about the similarities between Barry Morphew and Larry Millete in how they try to control their children. You guys, this is what narcissists do. They control the other partner or the situation through the children. And it's so disgusting, and it's so disturbing, and so wrong. And I wanted to show you this. This video, I think it's a little long, but this was from maybe a couple weeks ago when Millete was in court for the first time, I believe. Let me see if I can find it, though. Hold on one second. Bear with me one sec. And hopefully these play tonight and we don't have any issues. I don't think we will, but let's see if I can find it here. All right, where's it at? Sorry, guys, I don't usually like to take this long. Dang, I may not be able to find it. I don't know. Let me see. If I can't, we'll start off with Barry. This may be it here. Okay, let's see if this will work.
If he's willing to have that listen and limit his movement from home to work, vice versa.
Okay, well, that one, I can't hear it very well. Let me start off with Barry then. I know I can. We all know the situation with Barry Morphew and his daughters and how they stand by their dad, which in a way is kind of understandable considering the circumstances, but it's Barry that we're looking at here, and the way that he has to have control of the narrative and control all the way around. Okay, so you guys have probably all seen this too, but let's take a look at it.
Barry, how does it feel? Are you guys happy today?
All right. Well, I know you guys have all seen that, but I wanted to show it again to just remind everybody and kind of give a little visual of the way that the daughters act towards Barry. I think as they were walking out the door, the one daughter was actually leaning her head on his shoulder. She had both arms wrapped around him. He was leaning into her, which, again, man, it's good to love your dad. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's Barry that is the problem. It's not the girls, it's Barry. And I'll just tell you about Larry Millete because I can't find it. Plus, I think it was like 6 minutes long. So I don't know, with the kind of trouble I've had with my connection, stuff like that. I'll just tell you about it real quick. But maybe you guys saw some of it where Larry Millete was sitting in court and he was talking about, or the lady, the prosecutor was talking about how he made 129 consecutive calls from jail. And they were like one right after another, right after another, right after another. And the majority of them, 90% of them, were to his kids or to his parents. And he was talking to his kids through his parents. So anyway, he had already been told that there was a protective order that he was not to have any communication with his kids because this guy's sick, man. Not only does he try to manipulate the situation, but he's trying to manipulate the kids. And one of the things he told the daughters to do, the 11-year-old, was to go watch this movie. And I can't remember the name of it, but it was some movie about like life in prison. Like this businessman got put in prison and he wanted these daughters to go watch it so they can see what it's like for him in jail and all this other stuff. Like he's running, like, their mom, May, running her name through the mud and saying that she ran off and didn't want them, all kinds of sick stuff. So they slapped a restraining order on him and he broke it already because he contacted him 129 times from jail. But these guys are sick, man, and this is what they do. And this is what Barry Morphew is doing, in my opinion. And, Larry Millete's kids are a lot younger. And so he has, he's had more control. He's had more influence. I don't know if I said that right. I mean, what I mean is they're still moldable. Barry's are older now. So it's very vitally important that those kids do not have any contact with Larry because all he's doing is destroying their young brains and confusing them and making it worse. This guy is truly sick. So, you know what? I told myself what I was going to do tonight, guys, is I was going to just kind of tone it down and just let you guys ask questions. And I've been rattling on forever now. So I'm going to go ahead and take some questions, comments. So I'm looking at the comments now, guys. I'm just going to be quiet and I'll pull up some questions and answer them. It's good to see all you guys here, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Glam Dolly, what do you have to say tonight? Barry needs his girls' support in court. He thinks they'll be cheerleaders to get him off murder. If he does walk free, he won't bother with them after he doesn't love them and didn't love Suzanne. Okay, well, you know what? Glam Dolly, I can see how you would say that. And, your guess is as good as mine. But I feel like Barry truly loves those girls. And, I think that just because he's a narcissist and he's he's a potential murderer, I think those girls are all he has left, man. And they're his last hope. And I don't know if I would call it love. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not love, but it's something that serves him and something that he needs so desperately. Barry needs that. And that's why he went out and got a girlfriend so shortly after Suzanne went missing, because he's one of these guys that can't be alone. He can't do it. He's too weak. And it's not always easy, man. Loneliness is hard. But, you got to be strong. Okay, let's see who else is in the house tonight. I see Matt's here. How you doing, Matt? Matt has been putting out a lot of really good stuff. I got to give you a shout out, Matt. Matt Block. And I think he's from England. And yeah, we did a show one time together, didn't we, Matt? I think it was like something incognito, some incognito lady. And I'm sorry I don't remember your name, but I'm actually really surprised I remembered that much. But Matt was on that show coming all the way from England. So good to see you, Matt. Nice work on all your research in the Suzanne Morphew case. Fuzzy Doxy, I can always count on you and that cute little dog being here. Thank you, Fuzzy Doxy. You know, wouldn't it be cool to someday just like get everybody together in person? Like I'm a big like in-person guy. Like you guys know this. Like I like to go to these places and see them with my own eyes and feel things with my own two hands. But man, wouldn't it be so cool if all of us just set a date and got together and just had like a weekend together to just go out and search, or not even really search, like take a break from these cases and just hang out, man, just chill and get to know each other. That would be really, really cool. All right, what is Nancy saying here? Nancy Eileen, have you seen Barry lately, Tyson? Um, I looked for him. I looked for him at a couple different places. I looked at church. I thought Barry would be there at church on the front row passing the sacrament, but he wasn't. So then I said, well, the heck with it. Let me go look at the bar. And so I went to the bar, and the lady she started singing me a song. And you know what? She was singing my life, because she was singing about a guy that was brokenhearted and lonely. She must have been singing a country song, huh? What's that old joke about what do you do if you lose, what was it? If you lose your wife and your house and your dog and everything and you want to get it back, you play a country record backwards. Everything comes back. I don't know. I probably butchered that joke. Okay, let's see. Nice to see you, Miss. I don't like the way those banners are showing up. I'll have to adjust that because you can barely see them. I'm blind as a bat. Ask the spirits. Nice to see you too. All right. So let's go down here. What does this here say? I also think the girls will turn their backs on Dad because he is their gravy train. Apples don't fall far from the tree. Well, you know what, Mary? You may be right. I mean, we are all entitled to our own opinions, and we can make predictions, and some of them we get lucky on, like I do sometimes, but most of the time I don't. No, just kidding. But yeah, you never know. I mean, I don't know what those girls are gonna do. You know, it's terrible that people like Barry, and Larry put their family members in the most dire, horrible, unfathomable situations. You know, I couldn't stop thinking about when I went up to Salem, Idaho, to Chad Daybell's house. And you guys, many of you probably know this, but I was standing out in the street in front of the Daybells, and the daughter, Emma, walked up, and I started talking to her. And I could see the look on her face. Like she saw the camera in my hand, you know, she was like all scared. She didn't want me to film her and stuff. And I said, hey, are you Emma? And she says, yeah. And, you know, her eyes kind of lit up. And I said, Emma, I said, I just want you to know that there's a lot of people who don't judge you and they support you and your siblings and stuff like that. There's a lot of love out there. And all of a sudden, man, her eyes just got big, and she came at me. She had a little baby in her hand, but with her other arm, she came in and she gave me the biggest, tightest hug and just told me thank you. And she started crying. And I couldn't stop thinking about that for like days after that happened. I couldn't even hardly sleep at night because it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that a person's father would be so selfish and so horrible to put everybody in such an awful situation for the rest of their lives. You know, it's just sad. You know, Garth, when I talked to Garth too, the brother Garth Daybell, and he was just so thankful that I went and visited his mom's grave. You know, these guys, it's such a sad situation, but I wanted to share that because I think about the Morphew girls too, and I think about those three Millete kids and all the others. Man, these are just the three cases that some of the cases that we're keeping our eyes on. But this is happening so much across this world, across the United States of America. Oh my goodness, guys! I'll turn the news on or just start browsing. Every single day we're seeing these cases, and it's like, okay, which one do I want to follow, man? Like, just pick one out of 100. It's awful what's happening. So why do I do what I do? Because I didn't know when I started this, guys, that I could make a small difference and I could do my little part. You know, I'm not huge. I don't have like millions of followers, but I have my own little tiny platform, and I have amazing friends like all of you who come in here and support me. And so why do I do what I do? Because I'm hopefully making a difference, and by raising awareness and helping the families. Sometimes law enforcement will drag their feet in these cases, and sometimes it lights a fire and gets them stirred up a little bit when you put a little bit of publicity on it. So but everybody can do their part, you guys. We're all in this together. So find your niche. I didn't even know I was a YouTuber. I didn't know I could do this. This was the furthest thing from my mind, and I kind of just stumbled into it. But I enjoy it. I enjoy, talking to all you guys. I've tried to get out of it a couple of times because it is hard sometimes. You carry a lot of people's burdens, and you carry a lot of weight yourself with stuff that's going on in your own personal life. And then you got trolls, and then you got backstabbers. You got all kinds of stuff going on. And so, I wanted to stop doing this, but I don't think anything's going to stop me now, because I've kind of gotten over the hump. And, the only thing that'll stop me is if I just have something else happen, something unforeseen. Strawberry wine. You know what, strawberry wine? I am so glad to be back, and I'm so glad that I get to talk to people like you. And that used to be my favorite song. Do you remember that song? I'm not going to try to sing it, but it was Strawberry Wine. I remember that was like, I want to say like Dina Carter. Maybe not, but I think it was Dina Carter. But it was a great song. And I don't know if that's where your name comes from, or if you like having a glass of strawberry wine on a Friday night. I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got here. You guys want to talk about the trip to Maysville? Anybody want to hear about that? Oh, here's a question. Let's see. Let me see what US and Gray Ghost. What do you think was in that box that Shosho got busted for trespassing? What do I think was in that box? I don't even have a guess, because I have absolutely no way of knowing that. I mean, if there's like gossip out there on the street of what was in there, then I haven't heard it. Sometimes I'm the last to hear stuff because I don't have Facebook, and I'm always like traveling around and stuff. So sometimes news has to catch up with me instead of the other way around. I honestly don't know anything about that box. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better comment on it. Okay, let's see what spaghetti or Sketty Nona. I think there was some shady stuff going on with that group, and they are protecting BM because of it. Not that they wanted him to hurt Suzanne. Okay, well, it looks like maybe that's just part of a conversation that's going on here. So when I got up to Maysville, it was on a weekday. I think it was Thursday, but it was quiet. There was nobody around. Just got out of my car. Me and Faith, we just walked down the hill. We walked up to 226. We climbed up the side of the hill, found a bunch of bones. We found a bunch of interesting stuff, and I thought that I was going to be able to pull it up and show you, but I think what I'll do is I'll put together one more video and I'll title it Suzanne Morphew Last Dance Part 3, because I have some more stuff that I want to show. But I forgot where I was going with that, guys. Let me look over here at your questions. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a really good question, Patty. Do you think Trevor Noel will ever show up or come forward? That right there, that question has been on my mind since day one. You guys that know the situation with Trevor, he was the lead guy in the beginning. Everybody needs to get a hold of him. He's going to be like the PR guy, I guess, the family spokesperson. Well, after that search that that fake search that Barry did with his school friends, as he called them in my video, his school friends, which is kind of weird, man. Like, is it me, or is it weird that Barry calls on his school friends to come help him search? Like, I'm not even as old as Barry, but I can't imagine like getting on the phone with my high school friends, like, hey, Robert, hey man, I know I haven't talked to you in like 20 years, but I was just wondering if you wanted to come out and help me search for my missing wife. Oh yeah, well, it's it's 5 states away, but we'll fly you out here, buddy. So are you on or not? It's like, I don't know. I don't understand what like Barry never really grew up, and I think that's one of the traits of being a narcissist. They don't ever really grow up. They have like these high school cronies, and I'm not saying that, I keep in touch with some people from high school, but I don't have a whole like search party that's going to come search for people. I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know. But hey, Dusty's in here. How you doing, Dusty? Let me see if I can put your comment up here. 321 record. Hey, brother. Good to see you in here tonight, man. We're just having a little I'm just rambling here. And then I get to a certain spot and then I forget where I'm going with it. But no, man, I just think, when Barry brought those guys out to do that fake search, that Trevor hit the road. He was like, man, this is all BS. I guess Trevor's a smart guy, and he could see that something was very, very wrong with this situation. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But where he's stupid is not coming forward with information, because that's what's going to come back to bite him in the butt. So Trevor Noel, I doubt you're watching any of this stuff, but if you are, you better be ready for some charges. And that's my opinion. That's not a threat. That's nothing other than my opinion. But that's usually what happens in these cases. These guys that'll hide information, you know, they get caught later. Um, so I don't know what Trevor knows, but it's got to be something. So, what do you think, Dusty? What do you think about Trevor Noel? Remember when Andy came out here and Trevor was like supposedly one of those guys that was wearing a wig and all that? Like, there's been some weird stuff going on, dude. Van Life, Flare Space. Dang right, Matt Blanc. Oh yeah, Trevor knows. Hey Dusty, I will yeah, let's chat about that. Yeah, let's chat about that. I'll give you a call when this is over. So you know, guys, I know I get off on these tangents, but I really wanted to get on here tonight and show the similarities between Larry Millete and Barry Morphew. There's a slight difference, and that is Larry took it a little bit further with his weirdness, with his threats, with his he couldn't control his anger as good as Barry could. And so Barry's out on bail and Larry's not. Larry got denied. So the reason I wanted to point this out was because Larry was not allowed to bail out, and he's got a lot of guns. Barry got to bail out. He's got a lot of guns too. And so my point is they should have never let Barry out on bail. They should have never done that. I know I said before that they probably did the right thing just because a lot of the evidence is circumstantial and all that, but I really feel like they should not have let Barry out. You know, I think once you let a wild animal out of the cage, man, it's hard to get him back in. And I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope we can have a trial and justice is served, whatever that justice is, whatever the universe and God has in store. I hope it comes to fruition. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, I know his monitor, as somebody's saying, his monitor wasn't even working out there either, you know. You know, when I was up there, I was walking down the road and I was like, man, I wish Barry would, in a way, I wish he would say something, you know, and because I think he's smart enough that he just keeps his mouth shut. And I know that he's talked a lot. In fact, he's pretty much dug his own grave, guys. Let me just be honest with you. If you go read the affidavit, if he would have just shut his mouth, we would have hardly anything on him. I mean, seriously, like he was trying to like say all this stuff just so they would clear his name, you know, and that's what I told him to do when I talked to him that day. I said, hey, try to get your name cleared, man. That's the first thing you do. God, he really tried to get that name cleared. My goodness, he begged him and begged him and begged him. And he just really dug his own grave, which is great. Let him continue to do it. I hope he talks more. I know Lauren Scharf, and I haven't talked to Lauren in a while, but I know that she had some really good stuff, recordings of Barry, like when she went to his house. And I don't know if she ever put that stuff out. I never found it. I never saw it. So if she hasn't, you know, that would be good to see one of these days, because it'll paint a picture of Barry even more, and also of kind of the surrounding situation. So All right, let me jump back over here. Let's see. What is this saying? Well, you know what, Nancy, his money talks. Well, everybody's money talks. But you know what my grandma used to say about it? She said, money talks, but I never hang on to it long enough to hear what it's saying. Oh, my granny. Dusty, I bet you Dusty got a little chuckle out of that one. But yeah, this is no chuckling matter, Bojo wife. Where are you, Suzanne? Exactly. I had some people asking me if I ever kind of felt Suzanne's presence when I was out there in the woods. And that's difficult to answer because in that moment I have so much adrenaline going and I'm nervous. I'm physically exhausted because you're almost at like 9 or 10,000 feet, going through mountains a lot of the time. But I've asked Suzanne, where are you? I've actually stopped and said prayers, and I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm drawing a blank, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Good old Dusty, good old ground. Oh man. Okay, Marilyn Monroe Jr. Holy cow, we got all kinds of celebrities in here tonight. We got Marilyn Monroe's daughter. Thank you for being here. But yeah, Barry, I've heard that before, that Patrick Murphy, there was a guy, I was talking to a guy at Chafee Title, the title company. It's right there by Safeway. And let me see if I can find it. I want to show this because I want you guys to see that I'm telling the truth here. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second. Where's it at? Not there. Okay. Bear with me. I'm like, remember how Dusty used to have all that stuff on his computer and he could never find anything? Like, that's where mine's at now, man. I got so much stuff on here. Where is it? Come on. Well, here, I'm going to show this one while I'm looking for it because I want you guys to see. We were just talking about Trevor Noel. See if this one's going to play. All right, everyone, welcome back to the city of not exactly sure what happened there, but guys, dang it, I'm gonna have to get somewhere where I have a better connection. So, because I got a lot of cool stuff I want to show you. It's one thing to tell about it, but it's a whole nother thing to see it. Becky FB. Hello, Tyson. So glad you are back to doing lives. Thank you, Becky. Well, I know I went off on a lot of tangents tonight. Look at this. Suze, almost 2 a.m. in Scotland, but happy to catch you live, Tyson. Suze, my dear, get to bed. Get to bed. You're awesome, Suze. Thank you for always sending me messages on TikTok and also on YouTube. And I think you even emailed me. So you guys are awesome, man. I got people all the way over in Scotland. staying up till 2 a.m. That makes me feel very special. Thank you, Suze. But anyway, I want to wrap this up, guys, because we're getting close to the hour. And I'll wrap it up with this right here. Jerry Kalstoy, prayers for your parents, Tyson and Dusty. God bless Tyson, sending positivity to you and your family. Dusty, love you. Oh, there we go. Okay, Laura Pender. My daughter, Jersey. The paperwork is it's in the process of being taken care of now. So I've not got to see her yet, but that is my number one goal in life right now. That is my number one goal in life. Want to tell you guys I love you. Appreciate you. Tin Lizzie. Oh, what did the title guy say? Oh, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Crap. Let me go back to that. Hold on one sec, Tin Lizzie. I'm so glad you reminded me. See if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Let me see if this is going to play. Keep your fingers crossed, Tin Lizzie. Oh, no. I don't think it worked.